Hello guys, here I am with the fourth part of Black HRMC Criminal Association. Yes, a lot of planning, a lot to do, tasks, everything revolves around the club. By the way, you also have to take care of the businesses, of course. The tattoo shop was running on its own at this time, but now let's get to the foundations of a motorcycle club, a one percenter club, a club that operates outside of societal rules. And norms, yes, here we are already, that we are on a very paradoxical path because we quickly realize we need a set of rules. I have one here, a set of rules, of course, one of the last versions. The interim version, I can't find it on my computer anymore, but it has grown steadily because new things kept happening that we had to deal with. Of course, punctuality, order, and so on were very important. I also said this at Yankee Crime. For me, if we agreed to meet at 2 o'clock, anyone not there by 1:45 is already late. We also had the saying, my punctuality expresses that my time is just as important as yours. And that was really a very, very important thing for us. Being just 5 minutes late, everyone already frowned. You had to have a very, very good excuse. Yes, now a criminal organization, a club that lives outside the rules, is adopting such a set of rules. And I've been approached about this several times. Yes, it sounds more square than any allotment garden club, any bowling club, or even parts of the civil code. And that's just how it was. It then had little to do with how probably in the 60s, 70s, and even 80s, rockers, rocker communities, bikers hung out together with fun, rock and roll, party, drinking, and most likely also crime. Or yes, I can't exactly trace that, but it certainly wasn't as regimented as it is today. And I think that scares many people off if they knew what was going on in the clubs today. I did a survey on Instagram and really 97% of people voted to go through the rulebook once. I'm just going to start with what we always do, what was decided from the beginning. We also call it rulebook in the first person. These are things that were hanging around in the clubhouse and were also in our documents. Because we had one, if it wasn't written down, then people always said, I didn't know why, had we talked about it, club meeting, we also kept minutes afterwards and so on, because people then, I got the task, when was that? When did we talk about it? Our secretary then looked and said, on June 28th, 2009, we talked about it, and you said, yes, I'll take care of it. Basically, first, this list, it's also confusing for me and partly with shame and fun to read it, but it was deadly serious here, what was written here. It's not just like, we must not forget that this was later also a merger of violent criminals who really defended it with life and limb, and where, of course, there were also extreme crimes, serious crimes against life and limb, drug trafficking, protection money, arms trafficking, everything possible. Yes, then we have something like, for example, written, I wear my colors with pride. I keep my colors clean. I defend my color to the death. I defend our clubhouse, myself and my brothers. I never touch my brother's wife. I never steal from my brother. I never lie to my brother. I'm always there for my brother when he needs me and calls. I take care of our clubhouse. I take care of my motorcycle. I take care of myself. I keep myself fit. I do sports. I always pay my dues on time. I never doubt my brother's words. I fulfill the tasks assigned to me with the utmost care. I am discreet towards the state. I give respect to those who give me respect. I believe this is one of the initial drafts. So just as a guide, and I don't even know as I go through all this what I was held to here. I wear my colors with pride, not all of them. Hans Wurst once threw the robe at our feet. I keep my colors clean, not everyone does. Defending the color is in death. Yes, thankfully it didn't come to that. I never touch my brother's wife. It has come to that too. I never steal from my brother. It has come to that too. I never lie to my brother. I don't even know how many stories I should tell about that. I'm always there for my brother. Yes, that sometimes looked a bit different in custody. Taking care of myself was a big topic for some. Yes, I keep myself fit. That was also a topic for me. I also had these pumping times, then a bit bulkier, then pumped a bit more again. I always pay my contribution on time, also something that hasn't always worked out. I never doubt my brother's words, a recurring theme. I complete my assigned tasks with great care. These are all topics that were not adhered to later on. I give respect to those who give me respect. I remain silent towards the state. Yes, of course, that is very rough and very broad. It's also rather embarrassing for me to read it like that. It sounds nice on paper, and when you print it on nice paper and hang it up, that was really one of the first drafts. It wasn't sorted yet and so on. You know, I'm a huge data octopus, but those are the things that were recorded. Then in this club book that we have, there are also the descriptions in it. I want to read one to you. You have to go through this now. The color. The color consists of the top rocker Schwarze Schar at the top, the bottom rocker Wismar at the bottom, the skull in the middle, the crossed bayonet and poker underneath with the motorcycle club patch, which is located to the right of the symbol. The Schwarze Schar motorcycle club, Wismar decided at that time to replace the bones with a bayonet, which stands for the fight, and a poker which rekindles the embers. Now we arrive at the true German rigidity. So now it's really going to kick in hard. So I want to read the text to you briefly. Patches. All patches have a white background. Each bar has a silver outer edge and a second black edge running underneath it. The writing on all patches is the same. It is black and named Blade 2. The complete skull symbol, including bayonet and shuriken, carries all three recognition colors within itself. Black, white and silver. Only full members wear the complete color on their back. In the side rocker, which is also only worn by full members, the word Seestadt is written in honor of Wismar. It is located on the left side of the robe. Full members wear the bar office on the front left, starting from the top if they have one. Then Black Crowd and Wismar. On the right side, starting from the top, the bars Germany, Seestadt, and by voluntary decision, the bar 1%er are worn. Prospects only wear the bottom rocker, Wismar, and the motorcycle club patch on their back. On the front left of the Kutter, they wear the Schwarze Schar and Wismar bars, like the full members. Hang-arounds only wear the Wismar bar on the front, at the same place as the full members and prospects wear. The front patches are at chest height and are placed directly underneath each other and visually fitting. They are 9 cm long and 2.5 cm high. Depending on the size and width of the robe, the distances vary from one robe to another. However, there are set dimensions for sewing on the back patches, as the following picture with the dimensions of the colors shows. Now I want to really kick hard into the map. So this is how a 1% club does it. The distances, how to take up the color. Yes, so this is not made up, people. This is the original rule book. Yes. When I think about it now or show it like this, of course it was true, yes. I don't even know with these centimeter measurements whether I adhered to it, but who wanted to tell the president anything? The patches cost 300 euros and are paid in full when entering the club during the prospect phase. The patches stay the club's property until full membership is reached, even if paid for. Cleanliness. Patches must be worn while in the club and returned or confiscated upon exit. Many clubs do this, even if you are a member, whether you are a president, a member, or a sergeant. You pay for the patches at the club, that is. At some clubs you pay the manufacturing price. At some, for us, they later cost 1,000 euros, even though they only cost 80 euros to produce. The contribution was made to the club fund, not for personal gain. Some clubs charge for different levels. Hangers pay 1,000, prospects pay 2,500, and members pay 10,000. So there were amounts sometimes going around that we heard. even when someone became a full member and then got the complete patch equipment, that it cost up to 20,000 euros, which then went into the club fund and so on. So you really have to be stable on the road. And all the things you get as a member, if the club's logo or name is on it, you're technically renting them. You might pay for your jacket with 100 euros, but if you're not allowed to wear the color anymore because you've been kicked out or quit or something, then those things belong to the club again. This was then stipulated from the outset in a so-called club-like constitution. It was like that, and many clubs do it because, of course, you're not allowed to wear the symbols anymore. You can't keep the clothes. There have been serious crimes committed over this. And even with us, when we went out, we kicked someone out, we took their stuff, everything was confiscated, from the t-shirt, jacket, vest, to the embroidered underwear. Everything was picked up, and they weren't allowed to keep anything from the club. Even if you have the logo embedded in your house or something, you had to remove it, or even tattoos. There have been some wild stories. They've been burned out, cut out. It's a very serious matter here, just that we're talking about it. Then our guiding principles and symbols. Our acronym is SSFI. This acronym stands for Black Horde Forever. In addition, the 19 hash. The 19 stands for the letter of the alphabet, the S. The resulting double S stands for the abbreviation Black Horde. The guiding principle of the Black Horde is, if I had two lives, both would belong to the Horde. We have adapted this sentence. I mean, we took it from football. We had seen it once with Romanian or Bulgarian hooligans or something, who are also very right-leaning or open to the right or far right, and then we adapted this sentence for ourselves. So this manual is really, I haven't read it here for 12 years or so, incredible. Only full members are allowed to use all symbols, slogans and words freely, wear them or get them tattooed. With prior agreement of the squad leader, prospects may use the words Black Horde, Motorcycle Club Wismar and the 19 Diamond. The hangarounds are only allowed to use the word Wismar and the Diamond. They must discuss the production in advance with the squad leader. That means everything that was done with our symbol, logo and so on had to be approved internally by the club to prevent any nonsense, like someone crafting something out of rhinestones or the quality being poor or something being made ridiculous or a mistake being made, spelling errors. Who knows? Everything is possible, guys. Everything is really there. Let's discuss the offices we toured. What details did we mention about them? Offices, President. The President is the top contact in his own motorcycle club as well as in other motorcycle clubs. He leads the club discussions of internal and foreign policy. He directs the motorcycle club's advancement. Furthermore, he is the contact person in all situations, motivates and strengthens cohesion. In addition, he is the godfather for some of the samples and trailers. We will get to that later. My voice is a bit strained today. We also had sponsorships, which I'll explain later. That's how the office of the president was explained. You can imagine what the explanation of the vice president is like. He represents the president in his absence, illness, etc. The vice president has the same duties as the president in that respect. What a surprise. Then we come to the squad leader, which was equivalent to the sergeant in others. The squad leader is there for internal order. He controls the motorcycle club. He serves as an impartial mediator for resolving issues within and outside the club. Also for the police, if not involved themselves. That means even when the so-called rocker representatives from the state came to us, this conversation was led by the squad leader or me as president or vice president. Members, prospects and hang-arounds were not allowed to speak. The squad leader manages the penalty catalog and carries out disciplinary measures. He also sets meeting dates and determines the meeting's course. He is the godfather for the latter half of the samples and trailers. Anyone who leaves the city in connection with a cowl checks in or out with him. He also does weapons checks at exits. Just so you can see what this is all about. We had a duty to carry weapons when we were on the move, at least a certain amount of knives that had to be carried. And that's how we describe the role of the sergeant. Especially this checking in and out was a big drama for many. Yes, oh, I forgot. And of course, what was important to us at the beginning, we'll get to that, is that other clubs, when they come to our city, have to call us and register if they're passing through or visiting with their colors on. In the city, we insisted they call us even if they're just having ice cream with their wife, so we know this color is in town. It was no joke, and it almost led to a huge escalation with a big motorcycle club. The paymaster, I think how did I call him? I had called him treasurer or cashier. But it was the paymaster, proving how easily mistakes can occur. I always said that. Of course, my memory isn't flawless. The paymaster manages the club's funds. He is responsible for the club's finances and obligated to pay any amounts due on time. He keeps the cash book and knows the exact cash balance. He is responsible for accepting receipts, vouchers, contributions, or donations. He is responsible for compensating any loss of the cash box. I can spoil again here, there will also be several stories with the club cash box. One that also led to someone losing their patches. Cash temps dipping into the club cash box is a wow for many clubs. You're treading on very thin ice. I always say it when people ask me, how can I leave big 1% criminal motorcycle clubs? I say it's always possible, but when you go, don't try to steal the sergeant's wife and the club cash box. And if you have debts, then settle them. Don't pay an exit fee. But of course, many who go also often leave a trail of destruction. And that's of course a bad way to go. Especially with the club cash box, many are very, very sensitive. It's clear if you call each other brother before and then you dip into the club cash box, and in some club cash boxes there are really 5-figure amounts or so in there. So it's not uncommon. The guide is a very special person with us. I think the motorcycle, I don't know when it ran. Wow. 400 kilometers, I think, in 6 years. So they chose the right road captain. The guide plans trips and rides, whether by car or motorcycle. His instructions on the road must be followed. He checks routes and controls them. He sets hand signals for column rides and assigning roadblockers who are responsible for the safe passage of the entire column at intersections or roundabouts are his tasks. He also carries an emergency kit, assigns escort vehicles, determines drivers and passenger distribution in cars, and inspects the motorcycles during rest stops. In addition, he schedules on-call services for weekends. So I'm sorry I can't do otherwise. That's also the case when we had outings. We were there with 20-25 people and drove off with cars, as is usual for a motorcycle club. Then he just determined which car would go along and so on. So, I would be burning with interest in the comments under this video, because it's like prudishness kicks in so hard. It's crazy what all has been captured here. Let's move on to the secretary and other clubs' secretary. The secretary is the phone and email contact person. He manages all lists and documents. He records the course of the meeting and sends round emails of the meeting date and collects contact information of other MCs or clubs. Sending invitations from other MCs is also part of his duties. The secretary is responsible for forwarding information brought to him, being the first point of contact for outsiders. What a cool job description, right? I have to say, of course, protocols, not everything from club meetings was recorded. Everything that acted against the penal code and was said or done, of course, was not recorded. We kept the protocols because some insisted we had discussed it, while others denied any knowledge or certainty about the matter. Well, office elections. A thoroughly democratic association, grassroots democratic. Office elections held biennially are only open to full members. They are conducted openly and there are no abstentions. Everyone must be able to justify their decision about the distribution of offices. Offices are elected from top to bottom. A full member who has been elected to an office can decide whether to accept, take over, or decline the office. In the event of a tie, the president has a second vote. If an office is deposed, there will be a hearing by the Council of Offices. Yes, that has happened too. Redistribution of offices, also due to incompetence or sloppiness. Then the other offices come together, decide on a dismissal. We also merged offices later. I mean, what did I call him? Ditcher. I mean, where is Ditcher? Ditcher had two offices. I mean, that one later, he was secretary and paymaster, I believe. Let's get to the 3 stages that one could go through with us, full members. One becomes a full member by completing a probationary period and a trial period. The final vote on the promotion of the trial to full membership is made by all full members. If the vote is positive, the club expects a special payment of €250 from its new full member and a generous round of drinks. This is really written here, folks. So spending and inviting around and the clubhouse or all the people you're with then became the done thing. Full members are the workers for the benefit of the club, represented externally and have freedom of speech at other MCs. However, they forward specific questions to the responsible offices. Full members wear their kuta whenever and wherever they want. There are no secrets among them. Man, was I really there? Was I really there? You can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't make this stuff up, but it's true. And no secrets among each other. Never lie to your brother and never doubt your brother's words. I'm sorry that I'm making a mockery of this today because it has always meant so much to me. But to go through this with some distance and after reflection, having lived or tried to live according to it, hits me hard right now. Let's move on to the test, so-called prospect with others. The test is a candidate for full membership. During this time, it's up to the test, the club, the full members to prove that he is worth being a part of it. The trailer becomes a test by unanimous voting of the officers and proof of owning a motorcycle. Without a motorcycle, no promotion to probation. A 1-year minimum duration of the probationary period is inevitable. The probation has all the duties but no rights. He must be available around the clock to be able to fulfill any services and to complete the tasks assigned to him promptly. In addition, the probation has no voting rights in elections or voting. You agree to this when you become a prospect or probation. The thing with the motorcycle was carried out. Yes, one had to own at least one driver's license. We are an outlaw club. We are a 1%er club. No one had to prove a driver's license, but we valued it because it's stupid on trips. A 1-year minimum term was adhered to, but the probationer has all duties and no rights. Must be available around the clock and ready to serve. Yeah, it hits hard, doesn't it? It makes it really attractive, such a club or something, and people have signed up. We really want to participate here. The trailer is a potential candidate for trial for the brochure. He is in the time of getting to know each other. You can become a trailer from a minimum age of 21 years. Should there be a case of precocity, the full members decide on the possible entry. I can't go on anymore, guys. I couldn't invent something like that now. If you want to become a trailer, the full members ask for an audition. With the approval of all full members, the mostly still very unknown person is appointed as a trailer. The duration of the trailer phase is at least 6 months. During this time, the trailer should consider whether club life is for him. If this is not the case, he can freely lay down the robe and leave. However, if he is still interested, he should get a motorcycle and could then be promoted to probation. Yes, should there be a case of precocity. I can't go on anymore. This recording is very special to me, folks. Then we had sponsorships, just like you can do a sponsorship, channel membership, or on Patreon. Thank you. Honor goes out to all who do that. Godfather. The Godfathers are observers of their assigned hangers and or sample. Godfathers can only become full members. Each hanger gets a Godfather. This then gives, when he thinks it's time, the suggestion and suggests the possible time of the promotion to the test. It says so here, which is a bit illogical. Even during the possible trial phase, the trial still has a Godfather. Should it be time for promotion to full membership, the Godfather again makes the proposal and suggests the possible time of admission. That means all prospects and all hangarounds we had, they got a full member by their side to whom they could turn. Because this should not all end up with the chess leader later, because topics come together there, you will never get to, guys. And then some were sometimes served when they had to take over a sponsorship, of which they knew he won't make it anyway, he only builds crap. Because when the test or the hanger messed up, the full member had to stand up for it. Why doesn't your test or your hanger work? This is very serious. Why didn't he behave? Why did he run away? He didn't contact me either. Why doesn't he work? Talk to him or give him an order. Yes, extremely serious. 1. The recording. All full members are present during the recording or promotion of trailers and samples. The recording takes place following a ritual that the full members have devised for their candidate. The handover of the robe and or the new patches is carried out by the president. After the ceremonial handover, the promoted person is explained his new rights and duties at the next meeting. That's what it looks like with a recording. Just a quick personal note, if you want to support us, my book is out, Hate, Power, Violence, Mirror, Bestseller, the brand behind the product, King Among the Kongs. Chat that out. Under the video, there are many links. How you can support us in our work, deradicalization, anti-violence work on the internet and or at schools. So many possibilities. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, all that helps. Many thanks and ahoy. Video continues. Everything from our original rulebook was supposed to be made into a book, but that never happened. We still have a few pages ahead of us. I'll see what else we can still take over. The motorcycle. The Black Scarf Motorcycle Club is a motorcycle club. Here motorcycles are ridden. Incomplete input. Please provide the full text to shorten. It must have at least 800 cubic centimeters. Rather higher. Modifications during the peak season are prohibited. They should take place from the beginning of December to the end of February. The motorcycle is only ridden with a robe. Exceptions are short and unplanned routes. Bourgeoisie recognizable here? Feel free to comment, I'm super interested. Contributions. The contribution is at least 50 euros per month. He will be brought to the last meeting date of the month or paid by the 30th of the month at the latest. Anyone who decides to wear the 1% patch or diamond pays 10 euros more contribution per month. The payment of contributions has priority for each individual. Club debts should also be settled as quickly as possible. I believe hardly anyone has chosen the contribution of 50 euros voluntarily. Yes, I choose voluntarily. The smallest contribution. I believe I also had 150 or 200 euro contribution, just like Christian and Klaus. They each made 150 or 200 euro club contribution. The others around 100. I believe the lowest was 70 or 80. Yes, no one took the minimum contribution. And these 10 euros, which came from everyone wore the patch afterwards. At the beginning, only 2 didn't wear it. The special incoming money was deposited into a prison fund or into a lawyer's fund. It then added up that we put into this 1% fund for those who commit crimes so that the community could then get lawyers or prison stuff and so on from it. That's how everything was already planned. Mandatory sports. It rules for everyone. Self-defense is taught at least 4 times. I don't have that anymore today. Self-defense is practiced at least 4 times a week through strength or combat sports. If feasible professionally and time-wise, if one is sick and unable to attend, this is considered excused. I can afford that. Later, we had mandatory weekly martial arts classes for about 1.52 years. It was the most dreaded appointment of the week for all. In the clubhouse in the evening, sports, that was very well received. The duty to bear arms. If you're out and about in a cowl, it's advised to carry a knife for your own protection. This is particularly important when going on rides or visiting other MCs. Self-defense and the protection of brothers is the top priority. We will also get to this in the story formation of an armed group. We will get to that as well. Club tattoos. Only full members are allowed to get them tattooed. They must be covered up when leaving the club. Public appearance. When wearing the robe in public, they behave, pay attention to a well-groomed appearance, and do not make any political statements. Avoid staying in public for a long time while fully intoxicated. When wearing the robe, the main color of the rest of the clothing should be black. Wearing clothing with politically motivated motifs is prohibited. Only the presidents and the sergeant at arms talk about club politics when visiting other MCs. Prospects and hangarounds must properly introduce themselves to other motorcycle club members with their status, hangaround or prospect name and Black Troop Wismar. So hello, I'm Mickey, prospect of Black Troop Motorcycle Club Wismar. Hello, I'm Mickey, and then quickly with 150 people. The evening starts, but thumbs up, guys. I can't read that out. It's in the manual. It grew that way because it frequently didn't occur. This is so cool. When greeting, you look into the face and eyes. I can't take it anymore. I'm unsure if I should release the video. It may be too late once you hear it. I still dislike it when someone greets me with a handshake but is already moving on to the next person before we finish. And that's why it was like that with us.
Like this. Hi.
Mickey rehearsal, Black HMC. You know what? Also an important point. Full members are not contradicted in public. At their own events, rehearsals and trailers have a ban on alcohol. Generally, respect is earned and reciprocated. If there is trouble with other motorcycle club members, the sergeant at arms is called in if this is still possible. Every member from hanger-on to full member has to stand up straight in physical confrontations. That's how you have to imagine it. Black as clothing, no political statements. That was established from the beginning. As I said, it was always not believed, but that is the appearance in public. The course of the meeting is always prepared and one has written documents with them. Everyone needed to have a folder with a pen. It was really like that. If you could write down the tasks we discussed at the beginning, because everything was always forgotten. Yes, that's exactly what we discussed. It will appear sober with a motorcycle if this is weather technically possible and dressed in a robe. Full members appear half an hour earlier to the meeting. Enter the meeting room without a cell phone. There is a seating order at the meeting. Everyone takes their place. I want to show you this again. President, Vice President, Squad Leader, Paymaster, Secretary, Guide, full members, probationers, and hang-arounds. Yes, that's what it looks like. Yes, unbelievable, but true. That's how it was done. At the start of the session, the squad leader gives the floor to the president. The officers go through their topics in order: president, vice president, squad leader, paymaster, guide, secretary. After that, all other full members. The secretary notes all topics and separates those which are discussed among full members and those with trials and hangers. That means there were topics that we only discussed among full members. And what the trials and hangers were allowed to know, they were then also included in the session. The course of the session, whether open or with a word message, is decided by the squad leader. The entire course of the session is recorded by the squad leader. Recorded by the secretary. First, all assigned topics are discussed and clarified, which only concern the full members. Then the topics assigned to the samples and trailers. The candidates are invited in individually or in a group as needed. They remain standing outside the door until then. Everyone has the duty to fulfill the tasks, data, memories, etc. assigned to them, to note down. The meeting is only adjourned after the squad leader has assigned 2 candidates to the cleaning and clearing service. I can't go on anymore. Yes, we then had a meeting room which was prepared. There were water, cola on the table, or Snickers, or something to eat. Sometimes we brought samples and sandwiches. And only after the squad leader brought in 2 trailers, he said, well, the meeting is over and here you clean up again. Yeah, sure, reads, yeah, attack. And fighting amongst each other. Full members settle disputes without trials or complications. The squad leader mediates, settles the dispute among the participants. If he himself is involved, the president settles the dispute. In case of a dispute between the president and the squad leader, the vice president is consulted. Considered all possibilities. It's happened before. If there is a dispute among samples and trailers, the squad leader is added as a mediator for dispute resolution and elimination. If there is a dispute between full members and samples or trailers, the word of the full member carries more weight. That's true. I believe that's the case in every club. The sample or hanger should respect the full member, but not necessarily vice versa. Shouting and insulting downwards is okay, but not upwards. You have all the duties, but no rights. Messages and calls. Messages in brackets short message service are always answered within the deadlines work 9 hours, leisure 2 hours, no matter from which member. The session short message service is confirmed with OK. Missed calls are returned. What else is coming here? All right, we can still manage that. The robe is held in honor. It is only worn in the colors black, white, and silver. The individual decoration and design must be approved by the squad leader. General club jewelry can be worn on any side of your choosing. The attachment of extra jewelry is discussed with the squad leader. The robe should be regularly checked for damage and repaired promptly if necessary. A worn or sagging robe is not nice to look at and therefore needs to be replaced or replaced with a new one. Oh, sagging worn robe, I know, come on, comment, come on. The loss of the robe is guilty, colon. When the member loses the robe due to their own fault, they are demoted. If it is a full member who holds an office, they lose it. The person concerned has to pay a fine of 2,000 euros and is responsible for acquiring new customers. If it is a special individual case, the punishment is at the discretion of the executioner. If the member is innocent of the loss of the robe, the club reimburses the patches to the person concerned. There are no further penalties if proof of innocence is provided. However, the member is obliged to replace it, if possible. Yes, it has been regulated like this. Yes, you can lose a robe due to your own fault. Left it somewhere while drunk, didn't take it with you, gone shit. But of course, it can be stolen, it can be robbed, it can be destroyed. All this is then considered not guilty. Exit from the Black Scarf in CW Wismar. The collection of all club clothes, data lists, etc. and the cowl arrives with every exit. Club clothes and patches are not refunded financially. Every exit is forwarded by the secretary to all known contact addresses. That means we inform our former full member Hans Wurst has been thrown out of the club Schwarze Schaumsee in left or in bad standing. Left requested. That means someone has asked, he wants to leave on good terms, he can't make it with us. Left is only allowed with the full consent of all full members. Friendship is still possible. The ex-member has the option to switch to another motorcycle club. Re-entry is also possible. If we have given a left, that means we have told the person, watch out, you can't make it with us, your journey is over here. The full members explain to the affected person the reasons for the decision. He can then justify himself. Yes. And that's it. He can justify himself, but he will still be gone. If a member gets the bad standing, all contact with him is to be stopped immediately. The friendship has ended and the person involved will face harsh club penalties. For their own protection, the former member should move away. Move away. He will not be allowed to join other MCs and this must be prevented. That was our bad standing. Bad standing is, for example, when someone has stolen the club cash and then got caught and was then thrown out. The penalty catalog, do you want to see it briefly? Oh, what's that? Oh, penalties. Oh, rule violations, penalty catalog. Let's do the penalty catalog. What do we have here? Okay, but then here I have the questionnaire for candidates. I'll show you the penalty catalog we'll do separately because that's the questionnaire for candidates' name, residence, age, marital status, work, question mark. Financial means question mark. Motorcycle question mark now comes, talking about a criminal organization. People, hobbies, circle of friends, previous convictions. And then a short answer text with a short explanation why in a motorcycle club, which motorcycle knowledge or general opinion. Or general knowledge has to do with motorcycle clubs and why do you want to join us? That was the questionnaire. We'll do the penalty catalog another time. Guys, so squareness kicks in hard and what's kicking in now is the Sturgeon has also got new news again and our patches are on the way and we're doing our first initiation ceremony and how all that went and why the pictures turned out so shitty and how we then went to Werwolf and so on. I'll share more next time. Thanks for joining this moving episode. But as always, I leave you with an ahoy from the coast.